Warning! It's time to unite with Unbroken Bonds. It feels like fire will now respond. With cards like Welder, it'll be so strong. So prepare yourself, cause the match is done. We have cards like the new Salazzle, consistency that you just can handle. Drawing cards until we're ready for battle. Charizard and Reshiram will be an example of a deck that will be on the top tables. Gardevoir and Sylveon is quite able to win tournaments as real save. Yo, rank cards like research become a staple. Or how about triple boost energy? A strategy that will move cleverly into top tier decks. Yeah, think heavily, cause I'll explain it in this video, see? Episode 217. Top 15 best cards of the new Unbroken Bonds set. Sit back, relax, and let me tell you everything good about this new set. What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome to episode 217 on my channel. As you know, on my channel we talk about the latest cards and best new decks in town, so be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. And also hit that little notification bell so you get notified immediately when a new video pops up on the channel. Also, if you haven't bought an epic t-shirt or hoodie to support the channel, feel free to do so, the link will be in the description below. Alright, Unbroken Bonds gets released in 2 weeks and it's time for us to give the top 15 best cards of the set. That way you already know what to look forward to at your pre-release, which actually starts next weekend when the set officially drops on the 3rd of May. There will be a huge amount of new cards in the set, so this is gonna be a little spoiler of what is gonna be good. And yeah, as a little side note, fire is gonna get insane. First up, I want to have some honorable mentions going. We have a Mew, which protects the bench. We have Kartana with a sweet new attack, sort of like Baby Boss, which deals a huge amount of damage on a specific turn and has free retreat. And we have Whimsicott GX, which becomes invincible thanks to its ability with coin flips. So if you have a little bit of luck with coin flips, try Whimsicott GX out. Anyhow, without further ado, here are the top 15 best cards of the Unbroken Bonds set. Number 15, Electromagnetic Radar. This is a fantastic item card that states, discard 2 cards from your hand, then search your deck for 2 in any combination of Lightning Pokemon EX and GX cards. Put them into your hand and shuffle your deck afterwards. So this is like Ultra Ball, but better if you heavily rely on Lightning GXs. Let's say a deck like Pikarom. This will enjoy this card so much because that set also brings along the Dedenne GX, which we'll talk about shortly in this video. So that is easy searchable thanks to this Electromagnetic Radar. But not only that, you can get a combination, maybe Zeraora GX and a Pikarom. So it's definitely gonna be a sweet addition to that type of deck, which is very, very popular. And since this also has the discarding effect, it does help to get those lightning energies in the discard pile to then grab them back with Tapu Koko Prism Star with Dance of the Ancients. Definitely a solid card right here. Number 14, Mewtwo. This new Mewtwo has a pretty sweet ability called Mind Report, which states, once during your turn when you play this card down on the bench, you may put a supporter from your discard pile on the top of your deck. And that is actually pretty sweet, just to think about how many games you could have won if you just had that single Guzma for game and you didn't get it. Well, this Pokemon is easy searchable thanks to cards like Ultra Ball and can get that supporter of choice anytime you want. It's similar like VS Seeker of back in the days, but a bit worse since you have to put it on top of the deck, but we have a lot of ways to just get that. We have of course things like Zeraora GX, which can draw that out. We have of course Acrobike in the format, Judge Whistle, so there's a lot of cards which can draw that out. Maybe even Oranguru with Instruct, you never know. So that is going to be awesome to try out. It's going to be some kind of similar like Palpad, but a little bit more consistent since it's on the top of the deck, which is easy grabbable. The attack is pretty garbage, so I wouldn't put energies on it, but I do think that people will actually play this for the ability, so that's why it's here on the number 14. Number 13, Unmanned Power Plant. This stadium card is pretty simple and similar to Silent Lab back in the days, shutting something down. Well, Unmanned Power Plant has a following statement: each Pokemon EX and Pokemon GX in play has no ability. So basically we shut down the abilities all the way back with Garbodor, with Garbotoxin, remember those days? Well, thinking about it, Zeraora GX can no longer use the ability trait. Zeraora GX cannot rely on the ability to have free retreat with Pokemon that have lightning energies, or maybe even some draw engine Pokemon Pokemon like Tapu Lele GX and Dedenne GX all get shut down. Abilities are shut down for GXs, that's right. So this card will definitely see play as soon as a good GX comes out with a terrific ability. People will grab to the 6 Stadium card to counter that. This is a Zoroark GX counter on the surface, so if you just have troubles against Zoroark, try a couple of those copies in your deck and you'll be good to go, because combined with something like a Marshadow and an Unmanned Power Plant, they will not be able to draw their way out of that or trade their way out of that. So that's fantastic. Unmanned Power Plant. Number 12. Honchkrow GX. Remember Chaos Wheel all the way back? We have Giratina EX, which has that attack. Well, imagine having that attack effect as an ability. Well, that's exactly what Honchkrow GX brings to the table. If it's active, the opponent can no longer smack down their special energies, tool cards, or stadium cards from their hand. And that is huge! Think about decks that heavily rely on special energies. Zoroark GX, Passimian, for example. Well, those decks will cease to function when this card is in the active position. But the fun doesn't stop there. There's also a new item card, Duskstone, which I'll also throw in the mix here, which is actually very, very awesome for a Pokemon like Misdreavus, Murkrow, Doublade, and Lampant. All those Pokemon evolve in the games with, of course, the Duskstone, and the trading card game, it has the effect of a Wally, and we can use it on the very first turn, and on Pokemon we put in play, so that's going to be epic. So let's say we begin the game with a Murkrow. Well, if we manage to find Duskstone during that turn, we can search our deck immediately for a Honchkrow GX, so Wally in an item form, so that is fantastic. So leaving the opponent stuck, because the Honchkrow GX's ability will be active, and on the very first turn, the opponent will no longer be able to play special energies down, stadium cards, and tool cards. But wait, there's more! Honchkrow GX also comes packed with a crazy GX move, and it's called, a very ironic, Unfair GX, which states, look at the opponent's hand, select 2 cards you find there, and your opponent has to discard them. Wow, talk about disruption at its best. If you go second and you rely on Duskstone, you can start using that for a single DCE and leave the opponent with 0 supporters in their hand and nothing to do. Imagine if you pair that with a Marshadow and Let Loose. I think the opponent will be so frustrated. Let's say early game, Murkrow, Duskstone, Honchkrow GX, attach a DCE, and then you smack down a Marshadow and you use Unfair GX, and it will definitely be unfair because the opponent will be bricking hopefully after that. That is going to be the main purpose. The reason it's not higher up on the list is because Pikarom is still around, and it also gets a couple of tools, Pikarom, so I do not see that deck going anywhere soon. So having a weakness to Lightning keeps this deck, actually this card, a little bit down. And also if the opponent has Jirachi or something like that, they can definitely get out of that awkward situation. It also has an attack which deals 90 damage to the active and 30 damage to 2 of the opponent's GXs, so in theory it's not bad, but yeah, it will not work against every deck. That's why it's only at the number 12 spot. Number 11. Buzzwole and Pheromosa GX. This is one of the more powerful tag team GXs out there, and the only reason it's quite low up on the list is because of the nasty weakness to fire. And as you will learn by the end of this video, being weak to fire will not work in the upcoming meta, since there will be a ton of good fire decks around. But other than that, the card itself is pretty insane. Beast Game GX lets you take an additional prize card if you KO something, and if you have tons of energies equipped onto your Buzzwole and Pheromosa GX, thanks to cards like B-String for example, you can take 3 additional prize cards. So yeah, you can swing the prize raise in your favor if you get that attack off, so it does have potential right there. I already did a full review on this card, so definitely check that video out if you want to make a deck with it and learn more about it. Number 10. Lieutenant Surge's Strategy. This is quite an insane card that caused quite the uproar in the community already. It allows you to play 2 supporters after you've played this Lieutenant Surge's Strategy. So that means you can play a Lusamine and play the supporter you got back immediately. Yeah, this brings new life into stall decks more than ever before. The only drawback to this fantastic card is that you can only use it if you're behind in prize cards. So yeah, combos like playing Acerola and Guzma if you're ahead in prize cards will no longer work because you have to be behind in prize cards. But Lusamine loops are gonna be very dangerous, and I do expect this card to see play in stall decks and maybe even in quad build decks that you can just search this card out with things like Pokégear, which we'll talk about soon. Number 9, Gardevoir and Sylveon Tag Team GX. Another tag team here. This is gonna be the one I already reviewed on the channel as well. So definitely check that episode out if you want to learn more about it, make a deck with it, and learn its weaknesses and stuff. In short, this is gonna be a tag team GX that keeps moving around its energies while dealing damage. Then if you get damaged, you can abuse cards like Max Potion and Ace Rolla and keep chaining attacks on a new Gardevoir and Sylveon GX. So you can just circle between them, combined with a new Fairy Charms, which actually are very good, Fairy Charm ability and Fairy Charm Lightning. Almost all popular GX cards will not be able to attack you, and that's why this deck is going to be so good. Pair it with Rabombi to shut down cards like Guzma, and the opponent will be definitely scratching their head, or actually in their hair, to just find a solution to knock out Gardevoir and Sylveon GX. All in all, this card will see itself in its own archetype and will be quite successful, but the list goes on and we have so much more great cards to talk about. Number 8, Charizard and Reshiram GX. Yeah, that's right, Charizard will actually be seen on the top tables. I'm very sure about that. We already reviewed it on the channel. It also has its own episode, so you definitely know it's good. It has an attack Outrage, and with a 270 HP smack onto that card, that Outrage will be dealing a lot of damage if they cannot one-hit KO you. Also, its second attack deals a flat 230 damage. The reason it's so good is just because of that attack. With a choice band, you almost one-shot anything in the format. And there's also a whole lot of fire support coming up in this set that actually makes you set this card up so quickly, so that's why it's number 8 on the list. But we'll talk about those fire support cards soon later down in the list. Number 7, Baby Blacephalon, aka Blounce. Yeah, we'll be back for another run here. We had the days of his GX counterpart running wild in the format, but now it's time to prove itself that the baby one will be the best out of the bunch. Yeah, it's gonna be probably the best, if not the best, non-GX deck in the near future. Its first attack dishes out 10 damage and lets you flip over one of your prize cards. If that is an energy card, bam, you dish out an additional 50 damage, making you dish out 60 damage. I know you cannot take the prize card, you just flip it over, you see what it is, and that's that. So yeah, 60 damage for a single energy means we one-shot things like Zorua, Inkay, and even Jirachi thanks to the weakness it has, so that's not bad at all. Again, we will be playing lots of energies with this Blacephalon deck. It's gonna be awesome because its second attack, Flame Ball Circus. It lets you discard as many fire energies from your hand as you like, and then it dishes out 50 damage for each fire energy you discarded in this way. So yeah, I know it needs 3 energies, but there's ways to set this up about this attack. It's gonna be using Welder, which I'm gonna talk about soon in this video. Welder is fantastic. Anyhow, you can just set Blacephalon up in one turn, or even rely on B-String on specific turns. Then we just try and get a lot of energies in the hand to dish out a bazillion amount of damage. Endless amount of damage, even one-shotting things like tag teams. How do we do that? We have Fiery Flint, of course, the one from the Dragon Majesty set finally sees some play now. Fiery Flint gets us 4 energies straight from the deck if we discard 2 cards. Then we have the new introduced item card, Fire Crystal. That's the way we're gonna get, of course, those energies back if we discard them. So Fiery Flint in combination with Fire Crystal, in combination with B-String and all that good stuff, will make Baby Blacephalon so dangerous. It's gonna be pairing it with Shrine and all that stuff, and GXs will not stand a chance at all. They will be shaking in their boots. Definitely a top tier card and a top new deck to look out for. Number 6, Triple Boost Energy. It's exactly what the name suggests. It gets you 3 cardless energies at once, and you can only attach it to an evolved Pokemon, and you have to discard it at the end of your turn. So you can get your attack off and then it gets discarded. But still, this is insane. Not only can you use this to get like more DCEs in your deck, think about it. Zoroark GX and Aerodactyl decks, for example, will love this. You'll never miss a DCE turn again, since you'll now have 8 slots in theory, because 4 DCEs and 4 triple boost energies. Or how about Gardevoir GX? You can attach this energy and suddenly you dish out 90 more damage. That is just crazy. And not only that, after you've used the attack, it gets discarded. So you're not even weak against things like Tapu Koko GX's Tapu Thunder GX, for example. I also adore the fact that we can now have evolution tech cards that have like colorless energies. Think about Slowking from Lost Thunder. It needs 3 colorless energies. That means, yes, Ditto Prism Star, we go into Slowking, attach that energy, and boom, out of nowhere, we can even destroy things like Charizard and Reshiram GX. Crazy tech cards are possible. Even the new Dugong, which in theory doesn't look that good, but with this energy, it definitely is awesome. With 3 colorless energy, you just snipe 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon of any choice. Again, 60 damage, Zorua, Inkay, etc. You're gonna be doing fine with that. Not only that, you also hit weakness against fire-type Pokemon. Think about Baby Blacephalon. It does have 120 HP, which means you one-shot that with weakness, so that's fantastic. Also, the new Persian GX. Again, it does have a sweet ability, getting, of course, cards from the deck if a GX gets knocked out, but also it dishes out more damage depending on how many Pokemon we have in the discard pile with Vengeance. But we can just get that attack off for a single attachment, aka the triple boost energy. That's the only reason some of these cards are even good, like Dugong, Persian GX. They are good because of triple boost energy, so that's why I'm also mentioning him in this particular number of the video. Persian GX is actually kind of fun. It's doing well in Japan. So in other words, we can now look forward to any evolution Pokemon that requires 3 cardless energies and look at it at a whole new perspective, and that's why I love this card so much. Number 5, the Dedenne GX. Before you say anything, yes, I know it's fragile, yes, it's weak to fighting, but this card is just crazy good. Remember Shaman EX and how good that one was despite only having 110 HP and being like the target of choice every single game? It's a pretty similar case here. Its ability states, once during your turn, when you smack the Dedenne GX down on your bench, you can discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can only use 1 DD charge per turn, so 1 ability per turn, otherwise it would be crazy drawing your entire deck. So basically, it's like a semi-Sycamore here, just playing it down, discarding your hand, drawing 6 cards. This is just gonna speed up a lot of decks. Imagine playing your hand down, using a Lily for 8, playing down your hand again, smacking down a Dedenne GX, playing down your hand again, smacking down a Marshadow, and you could be seeing almost half of your deck in 1 turn. So in that insight, this card is crazy. Definitely think about Pikarom, which will be using the Magnetic Radar, Electromagnetic Radar, to just search those cards out. Then you can just make sure that you have a full blitz every single first turn, and that's gonna be almost all of your games. That's gonna be fantastic. Pikarom getting a whole bunch of help thanks to the Dedenne GX, its engine. I also foresee that is the card will also find its way in some weird speedy deck, so definitely a card to look forward to, the Dedenne GX. It's a target, I know, but the ability is just way too good to pass up. Number 4, Pokégear. Yeah, a blast from the past, all the way back from Heart Gold Soul Silver. This item card wasn't too impressive back in these days, but nowadays it'll be such a help. With Pokégear, you can look at the top 7 cards of your deck and find a supporter there. Not only will this help you to get your first turn supporter of choice, think about Elm's Lecture, think about Kiawe or whatever, without relying on Tapu Lele GX, because Tapu Lele GX, let's face it, it always gets one-shotted and stuff, and then you just fall behind in prize race, so you can rely on Pokégear instead. In the late game, it also helps you find that Guzma for game. I do think that this card is quite amazing just because it works so well with Green Search, which I'll talk about later. Very, very great new supporter. Green Search is just gonna be an engine here. Green Search based engines will be a thing thanks to Pokégear as a 4-of and a big part of a lot of decks, so that's why it's here on the list as well. Number 3. Salazzle. Yeah, Salazzle is back. It seems like Pokemon is printing them non-stop. Yeah, this one is very good though. Reminiscing back of the days of Heart Gold Soul Silver again with Ninetales. This one has, of course, the ability Roast Reveal. It's just like the effect of Heat Factory Prism Star, letting you discard a fire energy in order to draw 3 cards. And this is just insane. It's like the ability Power Draw of Swampert or Trade of Zorua GX, but then on a stage 1 prize attacker. Because we have Fire Crystal to neglect the effect of this ability, to just grab the energies back that we discard, it's gonna be way better than even things like Octillery. I know Octillery was a bit more splashable, and yeah, it was seen in a bazillion amount of decks, but Salazzle will be a huge deal for fire-based decks. If you play fire, you are obligated to think about this card and put it into your deck. Consistency-wise, it helps out a ton. Think about Charizard and Reshiram GX. Those decks will love this card so much. Just drawing cards, Heat Factory, Salazzle, all that good stuff, drawing a bunch of cards without even relying on a supporter. So that's why it's number 3, because drawing cards is good. Number 2, Green Search, aka Double Skyla. This card is fantastic and will have an impact on the format and the way we make decks. Yeah, in certain decks. And the past we used to rely so much on making decks with like Jirachi, Tapu Lele GX, and all sorts of Pokemon with abilities like Zoroark, Trade, and all that good stuff. Well, we can now scratch that idea if you want to go on a different route, which is awesome here because this will make quad decks very, very good. You don't even need to rely on, of course, those support Pokemon because of Green Search. This card states, You can only play this card if you have no Pokemon in play with abilities. If that is the case, you can search your deck for 2 item cards. So basically the ability of Alolan Ninetales GX, Mysterious Guidance, in a supporter form. So what we'll be doing with this kind of situation, we will use Pokégear to grab Green Surge to make everything possible. This will be gonna be amazing. Think about Quad Gardevoir and Sylveon GX, Quad Buzzwole and Pheromosa GX. They all saw success thanks to Green Surge. This will search out your item cards. This got a whole new engine, making sure that Pokégear grabs, of course, that Green Surge, and with Green Surge you can be grabbing 2 items. For example, Buzzwole and Pheromosa as the prime example here. You could be grabbing 2 B-Strings when it's definitely the time to use B-String, and that's just super duper good. Not only that, early game, get yourself to Nazballs. If you're playing the Gardevoir and Sylveon, get the correct Fairy Charm. It's gonna be so good to make decks with Green Surge. And now, number 1 is gonna be Welder. If it wasn't obvious already, fire support is unreal in this set. Now I welcome you all to Welder. This is kind of like Blacksmith but on steroids. It stays attached 2 fire energies from your hand to one of your Pokemon and then draw 3 cards. So this makes Howl pretty worthless. Throw it in the discard pile, in your garbage can, whatever. It's not gonna work anymore. Howl. Definitely rely on Welder now. Not only do we have energy acceleration to set our Pokemon up, we also have quite the solid draw engine all in one. That's why this card is just way too good. You attach energies from the hand, which means things like Fiery Flint is definitely gonna be awesome nowadays. Imagine using Salazzle's ability to draw 3 cards, then using Heat Factory Prism Star to draw 3 more cards, then using Fire Crystal to get your energy in the hand back again, followed by a Welder to set up your baby Blacephalon in 1 turn, or whatever tag team GX that is fire for that matter, and then drawing another 3 cards thanks to the effect of Welder, and you'll be left with like over 9 cards while also being completely set up to attack. As mentioned, the fire is gonna be so powerful thanks to this card. Cards like this even make a random Pokemon like Arcanine from the set even good, and makes Charizard and Reshiram GX so viable as a top tier deck. So yeah, that's gonna be the real deal here, and that pretty much wraps it up for the top 15 best cards from the Unbroken Bonds set. This set will have quite an impact on the format and does create a few new good archetypes. Fire will see tons and tons of plays at the top tables, and we also get more consistency thanks to Dedenne GX and Green Surge, which is awesome. But right now, I'm interested in your opinion. Which card are you looking forward to most from the Unbroken Bonds set? Which new deck will you make? And did I forget a card that you wanted to see on this list? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to demolish the like button as always, since that helps out the channel tremendously, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Also, don't forget to check out my merchandise page for the best looking t-shirts and tank tops and hoodies for tournaments with some lightning effect to them. Alright, thanks again for watching. I wish you all a very fantastic rest of your day. Stay fresh. Until next time. If you wanna go and test a deck that isn't played a lot in this format, then listen to what I'll say. If you wanna go and try it out with me, let me know how it does in a tournament. I think it could be really great. Chilling on Sundays while new ideas pop in my brain.